The Appalachian Mountains, stretching over 2,000 miles from Newfoundland in Canada to central Alabama, are a place of unmatched beauty, mystery, and legend. These ancient hills have watched over generations of settlers, Native American tribes, and hikers. But within this quiet wilderness lies a darkness few talk about. Today, we're diving into a chilling, true story that took place deep in the Smoky Mountains. A disappearance so strange, it remains unsolved more than 50 years later. Our story begins on June 14, 1969. It's Father's Day weekend, and the Martin family, William, Clyde, and their two sons, 9-year-old Dennis and 12-year-old Douglas, decide to go camping in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina. They set up camp in Spence Field, a remote and scenic meadow surrounded by dense forest and rugged ridgelines. It was meant to be a peaceful weekend of bonding, storytelling, and enjoying the fresh mountain air, but no one could have predicted what would happen next. Around 4:30 p.m., the boys, Dennis, Douglas, and two other children from a nearby family, were playing a game of hide-and-seek. Dennis, wearing a bright red shirt, decided to sneak into the woods to surprise the adults as part of the game. He walked just a few feet into the tree line and was never seen again. Minutes passed, then hours. When Dennis didn't return, his father, William, panicked and ran over 2 miles down the trail to find help, while others searched the surrounding area. The search effort quickly grew into one of the largest in national park history. Over 1,400 people, rangers, special forces, volunteers, even Green Berets, combed the wilderness. Dogs, helicopters, and night vision gear were used, but not a single trace of Dennis was ever found. There are two strange parts of this case that continue to baffle investigators and fuel conspiracy theories to this day. First, the footprints. During the search, tracks were discovered not far from the site, a barefoot child's prints, followed by what looked like a larger pair of boot prints. But the tracks abruptly ended near a creek, as if someone had lifted the child up and carried him away. Second, a separate eyewitness account. About 5 miles away, a tourist named Harold Key and his family were hiking when they heard what sounded like a child screaming. Moments later, they saw a rough-looking man darting through the woods, trying to stay hidden. This sighting was reported to the authorities, but strangely, it was never fully followed up. Many wonder, was Dennis kidnapped? Over the decades, the mystery of Dennis Martin has given rise to many theories. Some are logical, others are downright chilling. The official explanation? Dennis got lost and likely died of exposure. But many experienced hikers say a child would have left more of a trace. Clothing, bones, something. And with so many searchers, why wasn't anything ever found? Then there's the idea of a wild animal attack. A bear? A bobcat? Possible. But again, no blood, no signs of a struggle. Then come the legends. Some locals believe Dennis fell victim to something older than the forest itself, an entity or force that calls the Smokies home. Native American legends speak of creatures in the Appalachians, spirits that lure people into the woods. Others whisper about feral people, isolated groups living in the deepest parts of the mountains, far from society. Could the sighting by the Key family have been one of these people, someone who took Dennis and vanished into the wilderness, never to be found again? The Martin family never gave up hope. For years they returned to the Smokies, retracing their steps, hoping for closure, but none came. The National Park Service quietly closed the case, and the story of Dennis Martin faded from the headlines. But for those who live in the shadow of the Appalachian Mountains, his disappearance is a haunting reminder that these woods hold secrets, some of which may never be uncovered. The Appalachians are beautiful, majestic, and ancient, but they are also unforgiving. And sometimes they take more than they give back. So the next time you find yourself deep in the woods, remember, not everything in the forest wants to be found, and some things never are.